Welcome back. Today we're going to continue learning about and talking about Abraham and his family. Do you remember when we were together last time when we talked about the three visitors that came to see Abraham? Well, those visitors were actually angels, and one of them was actually a pre-incarnate vision or person of Jesus. Now that happens periodically in Scripture. It's called a theophany. Theophany. And it's where Jesus appears to someone before he's actually born. Now, we just kind of scratch our head and say, what? But remember that Jesus is fully God and he can do miracles. And so it was Jesus and two angels that appeared to Abraham. At some point in time, Abraham was having a conversation with God. And God said to him, you know that city, Sodom, that city, Gomorrah? He said the people there are evil. They're wicked people, and they don't love me and they don't obey me. And I'm going to have to destroy them. Can you think of another time that we've talked about where God had to destroy people? Yes, with Noah. Remember, all the people were wicked except Noah, his wife, their three sons, and their three sons' wives. And that's something that we don't always understand, but we're not God. And so we trust that he's always working out his plan. And so God was sad about the wickedness in these two towns called Sodom and Gomorrah. Now remember, Abraham's nephew now lived in Sodom. So Abraham cared very much about what happened to that town. And Abraham said to God, God, if there are 50 people, will you destroy it? And God said, if you can find 50 people who love and obey me, I won't destroy it. And Abraham said, what about 45? God said he wouldn't destroy it. He said, what about 40? God said, if you can find for me 40 people in those towns that love and obey me, I will not destroy it. And Abraham went to 30. God said he wouldn't destroy it. He went to 20. God said he wouldn't destroy it. And he went to 10. And God said he wouldn't destroy it. Now let's think about his family, Abraham's family that was in Sodom. So this is a city gate. And this is where the leaders of the town would gather. And so we're going to put it right over here. And because Lot was a very important person in the city, he gathered with other leaders there. And this is who we're going to use to represent Lot. And Lot saw these two visitors. Remember our visitors that had also visited Abraham? He saw them coming. And he did something that was very similar to his uncle. He went out and greeted them, and he welcomed them to their community. And he did something else. He invited them to his home. And he said, we can wash your feet and we can have food to eat. And the men at first were like, no, we don't need that. We're going to just take a little rest here and then we'll be on our way. But Lot insisted that they come home, and they agreed, and they went home with Lot. So let's add a little bit to our scenery. Let's put our big tree. Let's put it right over here. And let's put set of trees right in here. And we're going to use this to represent the door to Lot's house. He had a window there. We're going to put it over here. And we need a roof, a little bit of a roof for his house. Their houses back then a lot of times had flat roofs on them. But for our purposes today, our felt pieces have a roof. And Lot invited his friends to his house. And so they went in, the two friends, the angels, and Lot went in to the house. So we just use our imagination. Well, remember that God had told Abraham that the people in that town were evil, wicked people. And God was right. And the thing is, God can see our hearts. And he knows exactly what's going on in our heart and our soul. He knows what we're really like. And the people of the city, let me show you these so you can see them. They saw the angels go in the house. And they were like, we want them to come out here. And they were going to do wicked things to the angels. And Lot went out there with the people and told them no, to leave them alone. But you can tell they were very, very angry. See how he's got a fist. And they were demanding that the angels come out. But the angels told Lot, look, your town is very wicked and evil. And it is important for you and your wife and your family to get out because God is going to destroy your town. And you're supposed to go to the mountains. And Lot was like, I don't want to go to the mountains. I don't think I can survive in the mountains. And so they said, okay, so you can go to this little town called Zoar. And Lot he wasn't in a hurry. And the angels understood that God meant business. And God was going to totally destroy the city. And he needed Lot and his two daughters and his wife to get out. So the Bible tells us that the angels took Lot's family by the hand. We're going to have to change our scene a little bit here. Uh-oh. My scene's falling down. And we're going to put back the town. Put it here. And they were told, run as fast as you can out of the city because God is going to start raining down fire. And so this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this lightning bolt. Can you see that? It's kind of floppy and hard for me to hold. But that was going to start coming down out of the sky because God was going to just destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And they had other instructions. They were told to run as fast as they could to get out. And you know what else they told them? So this represents one of Lot's daughters. And she was supposed to be getting married, but her the young man she was supposed to marry, he didn't get out before God destroyed it. This represents another of his daughters. And God told them, run and don't look back. Well, Lot had a wife. And Lot's wife chose to disobey, and she looked back at her town that was on fire and was totally being destroyed. Not only the buildings and everything, but the people that were still in the town. And when she looked back, God gave her a consequence. He punished her, and she literally turned into a pillar of salt, like a statue made out of salt. And she died because she chose to disobey God. So when she was looking back, she lost her life for disobeying God. And Lot and his two daughters were able to escape to the place that they had agreed they would go. But what I want you to know is that there were a lot of things about Lot that were reminiscent of his uncle Abraham and the way that he entertained and he was kind to the strangers. And I will put our Bible verse in the text below, but it's about how we need to be kind to people. And it talks about entertaining strangers. And I'll put that below. But I want you to remember that when God tells us to do something, we don't need to waste time. Remember, the angels literally took Lot and his daughters and wife out of the city, like, run, run. God's going to destroy it. And so when God tells us to do something, when we know that there's something that God's called us to do, we don't need to waste time. We need to busy ourselves and be obedient. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your attention, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.